Hi guys, and welcome to the Rocket League Replays YouTube channel. Today we want to present a video replay of the match between Team Falcons and FURIA Esports during the Esports World Cup 2024. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like. Enjoy.
Falcons are going to leave you in the dust. So here we go. We're underway here with game number 1 in our third quarterfinal of the day. Drafinho on the kickoff, back over to Lost, as FURIA try to start on offense.
And that's exactly what I think both these teams will be jockeying for, is who can pin each other down first with that offense. You know, the best defense is the strong offense for both these teams. And you're going to see some dominance come out and fighting for that pace of play.
TRK with a solid catch. Lost has to respect it, come out to meet him. Roas didn't just buy time. Yan will try to create some space. You see the chip there. I believe Drafinho got on him. Now TRK got flopped underneath by Yan, who gets another bump. And Yan, he's been consistent in this tournament, continues to produce. It's just FURIA have to be able to support him well. They weren't able to get through there, but they are holding nicely here against Falcons so far.
And it's good to get Yan some setup, individual play downfield with the space. You mentioned it, the bump was what opened that up. But Falcons, I mean, there's just so many weapons on this team. I guess you could say the same thing for FURIA. Individually on Team Falcons, anything can happen when these players are on the ball.
The bounce did not work out for FURIA. They wanted to move laterally, and instead Roas goes straight down through the gap, and Falcons have the first goal.
And that's the exact thing for FURIA that they can't afford. Clean balls coming across the center of the field, because you know Team Falcons and Roas are going to be all over an unmarked man. And that last man in the net has no shot. That one's coming in hot. And a 1-0 lead for Team Falcons.
I mean, it all started with that lost touch. It bounced off the ramp away from the rotation of FURIA. And Falcons are going to punish you for one simple mistouch. Oh. And the feint clears, comes in, and it's 2-0 all of a sudden.
And look at the crowd getting up, swinging. And I mean, again, look at all this space over to TRK. Little cut past the last man. He sets up killers for FURIA. I mean, Team Falcons outpacing them.
Last defender in net was so scared of TRK's shot, he went up for a squishy save. And TRK's like, what are you doing? I'm not shooting. What a start for Falcons. And we talk about that, you know, the slow start for FURIA, biting them in tournaments past. It's only a minute and a half into the first game, but it's starting to feel like one of those slow starts, and Falcons are making the most of it right now. As, wow, timing in front of that, and Roas just wins that touch for FURIA. It looked like they were going to win that 50. Instead, a nice high touch. Loss goes underneath with Yan, and Falcons forced to play a little defense.
And I mentioned, you know, these teams are going to fight for the pace of play and the dominance of their defensive thirds. And for Falcons, I mean, what a start for them to be all over FURIA and to have so much space to do what they want. Here they are finding each other again. Killer's putting a weak shot on target, but the follow-up was there from Roas. Demos coming out. FURIA trying to gather themselves to move downfield, but it just seems like Team Falcons, they're cutting everything off.
Another clear too. Drafinho by himself, but easily handled. He still has to be really fast off that wall. He's the Killer's chasing him down. If you don't leave the wall, you're getting demoed. Yan tries to get across, but the back wall's clean. FURIA getting a couple of solid touches. Not able to command the ball with authority. Forced to hold the ball in the midfield. TRK waiting for the pass. Yan was ready for it though. He's locked in a couple of times. Once on defense, he saw the pass coming. And again, Yan continues to see the pitch well here against Falcons.
And FURIA, I think, slowly figuring out what they're up against. Not that they don't know, but they're just feeling that pressure from Team Falcons. Things have slowed down for FURIA. They've stopped the bleeding a little bit, but here comes Killers. Has he broken through? The last man's there in time. FURIA certainly need to get their bearings.
Wow, TRK just won the ball. Looked like the 50 was going to happen. And Roas also recovers off the initial. Things have slowed down. FURIA just can't really get a hold of the ball every single touch. Challenged, knocked away. The demo doesn't matter, straight to TRK. Off the ceiling. Roas, that's a good catch. FURIA have to respect it. Off the top of the net for Lost, and nobody's available. Everybody goes, but nobody knows where that ball's going.
And Team Falcons making FURIA look like child's play right now. I mean, they can't put a hand up, and when they do, they're not connecting. The crowd is going berserk in there,
they're going
by
nuts.
the way. And for Team Falcons, I mean, what an environment to play in, especially when the crowd's on your side.
I mean, that energy is absolutely electric. We know what a crowd can do for a team. We've seen it you know, when Vitality went on their run. But we see it here in Saudi Arabia with Falcons. Quite the opener in game one. FURIA tried to start to slow things down, like you were saying. They tried to start to get things going, but even when they were on the blue half of the field, they weren't really commanding the rotation. Falcons were putting it out into space, covering it up so quickly. I mean, look how fast they were able to get back to these challenges. Now Killers gets to move it forward, and it's 4-0. Absolutely slapping FURIA.
And you mentioned FURIA slowing down the play, but that's because they have to. Team Falcons is playing so quick, and that's a great pinch from Killers to find Rawas, and Rawas knew the whole time that one was coming. No fear of any defender intercepting that. Team Falcons making a statement here in game one.
They're just so fun to watch. Their synergy, their ability, their speed is, you have to respect. If you love Rocket League, you love the game of Rocket League, you have to love this Falcons team. Rawas trying to get the 50 out. They want 5. Why not? Killers lands across. Not going to make it happen, though. So thinking about game 2, is FURIA have to be at this point with 30 seconds left. Got to find a way to open it up against Falcons.
You got to find a way. Just hold on to some possession.
Anything.
Just hold on to the ball at this point. Look at this.
Yeah, they had a real possession?
I mean, not really. There's been a couple, you know, give and goes downfield from FURIA. I mean, the most notably was in the first, 20 seconds when Yan had the air dribble from the bump and had so much space to attack. I mean,
but even then, like, there was no threat on net.
No, he was so far behind. I mean, Falcons have suffocated FURIA so much. I mean, this is just dominance.
Wow. Well, if there ever was a statement to be made, this one has an exclamation point, maybe a couple of them. Rawas gets one more for the road, 5 seconds left. And yeah, I mean, even, I think it was like halfway through the game, I think Lost tried to cover a clear that was coming, but he was nowhere near it, just jumping off into no man's land. And I think that shows you FURIA, I think they got rattled a little bit here in game number 1. 6-0 at the start with 1 second left. You know they really want to push FURIA in here.
Go next, and it's been go next for, I don't know, 3 minutes now for Team Falcons. This has been, as we said, a statement-making game 1. And for FURIA, I mean, you've got to take this intermission and really think about on the ball so much. When they don't have the boost, I mean, it just looks like they're flopping around out there.
And even when they do have boost, they're getting chased, and they have to move at top speed at all times just to avoid Falcons either challenging them or getting demoed. So now, game 2, TRK gets the ball on the kickoff. FURIA need a completely different start here, a completely different look. And they're not going to get it. Rawas gets the challenge. It falls underneath on the right side.
And, I mean, exactly where you want to start it, or exactly where you want to start if you're Team Falcons. And this just goes in actually off the defender. Rawas will get credit for it. And Team Falcons striking in the first 14 seconds.
I mean, ball's moving with pace. Drafinho has to get around it, and his car is underneath the ball. Rawas is on top of him. Drafinho's losing that challenge 100 times out of 100 times. It's not going to work out for him. FURIA have to take better care of the ball. But, you know, it was right off the kickoff. Credit to Falcons for winning the kickoff. TRK putting that initial pressure on. It creates that situation where Drafinho has to hurry the play up. And they'll try to get it started here. Falcons double commit, but it doesn't matter. It's right against the back wall. Not a lot of space for FURIA to work with. I mean, this is the start. Here's the shot. Getting across for Lost. Maybe they can build something here. But Falcons, great structure here along the back wall.
A couple of half chances, but I'm just going to say, I mean, that might have been the first few shots we've seen from FURIA that they at least cleanly got off, that traveled towards the net for a second before they were, of course, broken up by Team Falcons. And now, Team Falcons back in the driver's seat.
TRK will just hold the ball as FURIA still look for a way out, but every time they find the midfield, they also find a bird. Here's another one, flying right through. TRK off the post, comes right back for more. Oh, the slow roller. The ball almost insults FURIA on its way into the net.
And who was in the back of the net here? I mean, I know there's a lot of fakes being thrown. Drafinho, he dove to the far post thinking that TRK was going to take it. And from his POV, from TRK, it looked like it was an open net.
Wow. You hear the crowd chanting TRK. What is it, Corelli? 8-0 in total goals scored now in 7.5 minutes of play.
I mean, this is...
That's crazy.
You know, FURIA went through in Group C and they smashed Nkosi Ballers. And they're getting the treatment right back here from Team Falcons.
Falcons are making them look like Nkosi Ballers.
I mean, this is for FURIA, unprecedented as far as how badly they've been beaten in Game 1 and what's shaping up to be Game 2.
Well, FURIA, like you said, have gotten a couple of half chances. They get to the blue half, but again, no command, no presence. A demo, maybe to try to open up some space. They take Ross out on the play, and they get the energy sent right back at him. But here, a couple of good chances now. Midfield presence. They get a couple of boosts. Lost slows it down. And the idea there, maybe to give it to Yan. Lost wanted to just have him give up the ball, but Yan was so far back, and now they've given up possession.
It is so rare to see FURIA be outpaced and out-mechanicked in a game of Rocket League, right? If they played literally anyone else, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But Team Falcons, I mentioned it before, I mean, they just are on a different level when it comes to this, and making FURIA look nothing like FURIA that we've seen before.
I mean, every single time Falcons get a touch on the ball away from the FURIA rotation, and right there, it looks like they got a favorable 50, right? No, Falcons have the layer underneath, have such a great idea on where they need to be sitting. Downfield, Yan, light touch, good idea, but TRK, he's watching Lost. He knows where he is, he knows where to sit in the lane. He's got him picked up.
Yeah, you might have to be a little bit more direct if you're FURIA. It's too predictable. Falcons are reading everything, especially in the gaps in between players defensively for FURIA. You just got to have to attack the net, and even with the bump, it's not enough.
Starting to wake up,
make the save.
Yeah, Lost fakes the touch. Drafinho popping it up high. Looking a little better. Ross is going the whole way downfield to steal boost, but they don't have the ball. Forcing TRK to get back down. Drafinho, that 50 will work out. Yan wants to go quick. Waveland on the wall. He's got control. Over one, and that's good for Drafinho. This is the longest FURIA have had control of the ball all series so far, but they still can't get any pressure in front of the box.
Yeah, I mean, how many shots do they generate? Zero. I mean, they are not generating that threatening offense that we know and love from them. Falcons defense has been so strong. Drafinho looking for options inside the box. Yen was there, but he was late. Team Falcons just too quick.
TRK got the midfield boost as well. Lost has almost nothing left. He'll do his best to get to Drafinho, but Killers just plants himself on top. And Drafinho jumps from farther back, and they're just diving at every challenge. Here's another clear downfield. That's a great touch. The follow-up decent, but you got to keep it going. Yan finally breaks through. FURIA, their first goal of the series.
And some life from FURIA. It's the counter-attack is where they find their success in this play. Great little touch from Drafinho to Lost to Yan. Keeping up with that play. FURIA moving players downfield. That's all three of FURIA being able to navigate downfield and be involved on the offense. Something that we haven't been able to say through the first almost 2 games now.
This is a critical point for FURIA now. Despite everything we've said about this game too, they're only 1 goal back. With 33 seconds on the clock, they could change the face of this series with a solid progression here. The sequence is good. They got 2 players starved. The boost on Falcons. Pass back to Drafinho. Pops it up high. Roas got nothing. Tries to recover. TRK got nothing.
Yan.
Here it is. Where are you going? The net. The underneath. He couldn't put it on target. What was that?
That was the opportunity for FURIA, but they still have chances here. They have possession. Yan wanted one more, but Drafinho went back. Trying to keep him in play. And FURIA, Jorby, you almost broke your chair on that play because it was so close for FURIA, and they might be able to keep it up.
Well, this last try, and it's challenged, knocked away. A bouncer off the ramp. Yan back to Drafinho. This is looking a little tricky, but it's staying in the air. Another chance, maybe. Killers makes it a little more difficult. TRK just has to kill the ball, but he actually made it easy for Yan to get it downfield. No one's there. That'll touch the ground. Falcons take game 2.
Not going to get a lot of those opportunities, Jorby, and that's been a challenge for FURIA throughout these first 2 games. Despite that one only being a 1-goal game, it was still completely dominated by Team Falcons.
The Falcons are showing you why they are the darlings of this tournament right now. They've earned every bit of love they've gotten. And for really every team that we've seen so far, they certainly do look like the biggest threat out of everybody left. FURIA started to match that energy in the back half of game 2. Now a couple of demos gives the space for Falcons. Killers has to work with low boost and just off the crossbar, saved off the post. They need to get control of this ball and get the clear though. They're not quite out of danger just yet. Roas making them know it too. Killers gets back to it. TRK holding the ball, and FURIA have control in the corner. Lost has nothing though.
And he had to just throw it away and hope that FURIA could receive a clear. That's a great touch from Yan. Tries to get the bump, but for FURIA, in the beginning of this game, for the first 15 seconds or so, they actually had some great pressure. They were set up on Falcons as well, and now a big miss and a bump might set it up for FURIA again. Once this pass across the box, and Drafinho, he wasn't close to make a play either way, as he keeps it in play in the final third for FURIA.
Still a good idea initially there from Drafinho to get it back to Lost. Lost so speedy on his launch against the back wall. You think you have him caught out of position. You take the shot, but you better shoot it on the far right away from him. Otherwise, he will find a way to stretch. Drafinho maybe looking for his teammate there. This is a good hold for FURIA right now. Killers going with a quick flick back to Roas, and Falcons break out on defense. And whoa, that pitch goes straight back out. Here's the pass to TRK. Underneath, right into the bumper of Lost. And FURIA surviving for now on defense.
A lot of goal line saves coming out from FURIA, bending and not breaking. But despite maybe the good first 10 seconds or so, it's been, again, all Team Falcons. The difference is this time, they're not breaking through as easily. They're not getting those 1-2 punch plays that they had before. FURIA at least breaking those up, but here they come across the field again. Team Falcons doing well to find each other and use each other in the attack, something that FURIA struggled with.
FURIA are trying to shorten up the field, trying to go for those short passes. Falcons are just ready for it. Every time, they don't care. They will send the man. Even if they don't have a ton of boost to do it, there's just so much trust in each individual that even if they commit multiple players on those aggressive challenges, they know their third is good enough to get back. They know their recoveries are fast enough to support and get back in time. But FURIA have done well enough here on defense. The problem is, you got to get on the other half of the field, and they've spent the last minute in the orange half.
It's a series that's quickly shaping up to be what Falcons did at the last RLCS Major, where they were crushing the likes of BDS, G2 in the Swiss stage.
Roas. Well, thought he might have had an incredible goal in his pocket.
It just feels like FURIA can't catch up to the pace of play. This is an opportunity. Yan's got free airspace at the top of the box, but just too light on their touches, nothing threatening on the shot.
Yan just punts that ball away. I mean, how many options does Yan have in that situation? I feel like he should be trying to hold that or trying to find a way in. 2 shots are denied. Lost picks up that save. They're shot right into him. I don't think he had to work too hard for it. But here, a full field clear in FURIA. Everyone had to go back and get boosts. Like, why aren't they challenging the midfield there? They all were refueling after they lost the last 4 50s. And now TRK takes him underneath, pulls the rug out from under him. 1-0.
Yeah, you want to talk about some 50s. Roas takes one, then TRK plays this one off the wall, puts it all the way through. Drafinho gets a piece of it, but TRK's there to close the deal. Team Falcons finally break through after all that time, after all that pressure, and they get one on the board.
This is a beatdown. FURIA need to get their back off the ground and find a way to deal some blows to this team. They've spent so much time on the orange half. Killers with a beautiful touch. Follow-up is gorgeous, and that is another Falcons goal.
And for FURIA, things went from bad to worse real quickly. Look at this, touch of the angel from Killers, and another one to beat the defender. It's a free goal after that, and Team Falcons, when it rains, it pours, 2-0, with 1:05 on the clock.
Now the quarterfinals today so far have been, you know, after the last one we just saw what Gen.G did in their series to Vitality. And now Falcons trying to match that energy, if not eclipse it, with the way they're looking right now. FURIA have tried the quick attack. They've tried to get physical. They've tried to shorten up the field with the short passes. But Falcons just have so much speed and the aggression, the 50s. And Killers right here, just holding the ball. Gets to do whatever he wants. Square on the nose every time on his 50s. FURIA are always playing from a disadvantage. They finally get downfield, 30 seconds left. Pass connects, but 3 committed, and finally Yan breaks through.
And we've seen a couple double commits come out from Team Falcons. Watch Lost go to work here in the corner. First of all, he's got everyone looking at him, but 2 go, 2 jump up. Killer's trying to get back in time. He can't. Roas with no boost in the back of the net. Can't make a play, and FURIA once again, late in this game, fighting back.
That might be the key, Corelli, is that getting them to look at someone else. This Falcons always got their eyes on the right player. More feints, something to trip Falcons up. But honestly, to do those feints, you have to have command of the ball. You have to start with something. You got to start with the boost game. You got to start winning some 50s. Yan gets bumped And the challenge, he was never going for the ball. Dropping it down. No, denied. The second layer for Falcons keeps them in the lead. Drafinho doesn't have another try at it. And if FURIA are going to get any kind of chance, they got to keep the ball in the air, but it kicks away from the entire rotation. Falcons, one more to go, sweeping their way into the semifinal.
This has been a series that has been so frustrating.
I mean, you're shocked as I am,
involved.
Pirelli. Like, I did expect Falcons to be insane in this series, but I didn't expect FURIA to just get completely shut down.
I'm not shocked that Falcons are doing well. That's expected. They're a fantastic team. You heard Fancy, best team in the world. They're making a good case for it right here. That's not surprising to me, but for FURIA to not have any offensive output, that's what's surprising me the most.
Wow, that one, it looked like they might have caught the mount on the rotation, but no, Killers got back just in time. Yan looking for Lost. And even when they're winning touches, they're getting bumped off the ball. Yan doesn't have the boost to chase. Falcons coughed it up, Drafinho, but he's playing back because Falcons haven't coughed anything up, so why is he going to position them?
Why would you expect that? I mean, you can't know, especially in that central last man position. I mean, you can't hedge for that type of play, but how does this go in for TRK?
See, looking, Drafinho giving it up. Yan lost. He grabbed the midfield. Why was Yan on the wall? What is going on? I mean, that is just unacceptable from FURIA. You can't be making mistakes like that. Just completely botched. I don't know if someone got bumped or if we ran into each other. Either way, I mean, that was just completely broken apart. FURIA cannot get it figured out.
What a frustrating start for game 4 for FURIA. And this is the point where we've seen this now 3 games in a row. Falcons go up first and early, and then they score a second goal, and then FURIA scores one back, and then they roll over and die. So for FURIA, you got to change something up.
Where's the defibrillator? They need a jump start to the heart.
Yeah, someone call an ambulance.
Right now, the Falcons definitely playing with their food. And they're just taking free shots from the third. FURIA constantly sitting back. They're playing scared. They never have the boost to really go up and show their teeth. Apex Predator in the sky right now. But FURIA trying to find a way to dominate. But the Panthers struggling to get anything of substance going right now. Falcons continue to control the ball. They continue to push that 50 away from FURIA's rotation like they did from Drafinho there. He has to give up the play and go for boost. And now they got to defend a flip reset shot. Now they have to wait for Killers to come across. And there's just no one ready for that 50 to come across.
And Team Falcons going right back to work with the way they've controlled the midfield and their attacking third. Bumps coming out from Lost, but it's not enough to keep Killers off the ball. And with low boost, will advance down the field, and he'll score! How did FURIA let Killers do that?
Well, Killers, he's been too lethal. Drafinho pulls off, and he flips beyond the ball. Killers, he just threw it at him. He said, all right, Drafinho, go for it. What do you got? Nothing. He misses it. Second man, I mean, you're dead at that point after Drafinho misses the ball. There ain't nothing you got. Falcons, Corelli, we said it, you know, how did FURIA let it go in? Look, when it rains, it pours, and dude, it's the great flood right now for FURIA. They don't have their tubies, what do you call them? I don't know.
Floaties?
Floaties, tubies. I feel like Brits definitely call them tubies, right?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Tubies.
I'm trying to make sense of the series, okay?
Yeah, they need something. Give him a kayak and an oar. And maybe an opportunity here. Clean off the backboard. Yan, placement matters, and it's too high. FURIA, again, it's been the same story in the last 2 games. They go down by 2. If they're following the same pattern, they'll score here. Yan, that's a great pick, and Lost has to put this one. He doesn't get it over. Another shot comes through for Drafinho. Another one from Yan. And just like the last 2 games, FURIA finally get back after dropping 2.
Lost is limited in his options here because as he gets to the ball, he had no boost, so he had to put it up high. And Falcons, all of them in net, panic, double commit, clear comes right back out. And maybe a little bit of fortune on the double commit. The Falcons can't get a solid clear because Lost having no boost there is probably the worst scenario because like you said, Lost, the shot has to be on target. It felt like it, right? But just enough, a little mistake, and maybe just a little bit of effort there from FURIA. It does keep a little question mark. And here's Lost winning a 50. Can they change their fortunes here in game 4?
They've got plenty of time if you're on the FURIA side, but if you're Team Falcons, you're not too worried here. You've been in this position multiple times, and you've been able to close out these games. It may feel like FURIA starting to get a little bit of confidence, and that's not the best clear. Shot goes towards the net. The demo barely dodged by Killers. Yan almost got the last man, and that would have been the equalizer. But Team Falcons get out.
There has to be more options than just constantly going for the backboard double tap for FURIA. Falcons, they haven't given you anything on the back wall. The Drafinho touch, the short touch, the weak shot that turned into that whole opportunity on offense to begin with, that's what they need. They need that changeup because Falcons are just expecting you guys to boom the ball, to go for the hard 50, and they'll love to play that game all day long. Ross turns around, he gets a clean touch, avoids the bump. Here he goes, feathering, and almost found a way to dunk it through. TRK gets through one, and FURIA are forced into hurry-up mode again. Drafinho loses the 50, lost, has to wait, has to defend another shot. It's wide. Yan clearing it out. Nobody in the area for FURIA. TRK puts it up high, and look at FURIA's boost totals. 0, 30, 33. Finally, a canister on the FURIA side, but Drafinho's the one to have to clear it out, and he's got no boost.
Yeah, they got nothing. I mean, look at that. They almost had all zeros across the board for a second. And with 20 seconds left, it's the dagger coming out from TRK. Team Falcons have smothered, dominated. They've rinsed, washed, and recycled FURIA in this series.
Absolutely insane setups from Falcons. They found a way to enchant the armor, enchant their weapons, because they are hitting for some big damage. And the DPS has been lethal. FURIA simply were not ready. They were not prepared. It's like going into a late game Souls boss without actually doing any of the work to level up. That's what it feels like. Falcons doing their best Souls-like impression here as Yan has one more goal, and FURIA, it's literally the last breath here.
I think TRK might have thought that one was going to drop, or like the time was going to run out, and they let it trickle in. They're laughing about it. He did get a piece of it. There will be 1 second left on the clock. What does FURIA have in store? I mean, they're going to have to keep it up, Jorb. It's rare that we see this happen.
I feel like you got a bot kick off it. You got to have a quick follow-up.
He popped it.
Pop it up like that. But you're not first on the ball. Roas is there, and the rest, as long as it touches the ground, GG, Falcons. Don't just make a statement. They burn the book on FURIA.